Here's the bad news no one wanted to hear. SNAP food stamp payments for November are in chaos. Only 23 states are moving forward. And as of today, President Trump has reversed course on paying November benefits, just one day after federal officials said half payments would go out. If you're wondering whether your EBT card will load this month, you're not alone. Millions of Americans are refreshing balances, reading headlines, and getting mixed messages. In the next few minutes, I'll show you which states are stepping up, what it means if yours isn't on the list, and why the White House, the courts, and multiple federal agencies are all saying different things at the same time. Here's the plan for today's update. First, a quick timeline so you know how we got here. Second, a look at the state map and the highlights of what the 23 states are actually doing. Third, what to expect if your state isn't paying. Fourth, where the federal decision stands and why it keeps changing. And finally, the action steps you can take right now. If you're new here, welcome. I cover Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, and money topics that impact seniors and low-income households. Tell me your city and state in the comments. It helps me tailor updates for your area. And if you've been here a while, thank you for sticking with me through this mess. Yesterday, a federal judge ruled that the administration must send half of November's SNAP. Not ideal, but at least something. The message was clear. We'll do partial payments this week because the emergency fund is running low. Then today, November 4th, the president changed his mind, stating he would not authorize November SNAP payments. Within hours, the White House and federal agencies seem to be walking and talking in different directions. Meanwhile, states are looking at their budgets and asking, do we act now or wait for federal clarity? And a surprising number have decided they can't wait. Let's start with some good news. When I first reported on this, only 8 states had announced help. That list has now grown to 23. Not every state is doing the same thing. Some are supporting food banks, others are providing emergency EBT, and a few are even calling in the National Guard to help distribute aid. Here are the highlights. Alabama, Birmingham, $1 million from city reserves to support families. California, $80 million statewide for food banks plus $9 million from San Francisco. Colorado, $10 million in grants to regional food banks. Connecticut, $3 million to emergency pantries and food share. District of Columbia, $30 million to keep EBT fully funded this month. Hawaii, $2 million for food banks, plus housing and utility assistance with local nonprofits. Illinois, $20 million toward food banks in partnership with grocers and community organizations. Iowa, up to $1 million in matching donations to regional food banks with National Guard support. Maryland increased from $10 million to $62 million, combining direct EBT coverage and food bank aid. Massachusetts doubled its help from $4 million to $8 million. Michigan, new funding flowing through local food networks, details rolling out soon. Minnesota, $4 million in emergency pantry grants. Missouri, $10.6 million for senior meals, plus $5 million to food banks. Nevada, $30 million to food banks, with National Guard activation for delivery. New Hampshire, $2 million for mobile food pantries serving SNAP households. New York, expanded from $65 million to about $120 million as demand increases. North Carolina, $10 million in state funds and $8 million in private donations for food banks. Ohio, $80 million more for food bank distribution and local partnerships. Oregon, $5 million to statewide food banks. Pennsylvania, $60 million proposed, with some funds pending approval. Vermont, $6.3 million combining direct EBT support and food bank aid. Virginia, action forthcoming, amounts not yet finalized. Wisconsin, $69 million currently under legislative review. Let's start with some good news. When I first reported on this, only 8 states had announced help. That list has now grown to 23. Not every state is doing the same thing. Some are supporting food banks, others are providing emergency EBT, and a few are even calling in the National Guard to help distribute aid. Here are the highlights. If your state wasn't mentioned, don't panic. Many are still waiting on federal direction before committing money they might not get reimbursed for. But the takeaway is clear. States are stepping up, and that number continues to grow. Let's talk about who gets hit first when these payments stall. It's not abstract numbers, it's people. Children. Roughly 16 million kids rely on SNAP benefits. When payments stop, families feel it right away. In school lunches, in groceries, in dinner tables that suddenly come up short. Seniors. About 8 million older Americans use SNAP to stretch fixed incomes. For many, it means deciding between medication and meals. Veterans and military families. More than 1 million veterans and tens of thousands of active duty families depend on SNAP each month. These are the people caught in the middle when funding freezes. And when you look at the big picture, it's staggering. 1 in every 8 Americans is on SNAP, getting roughly $6 a day for food. That's not a luxury, it's survival. Even a short delay means skipped meals, tough choices, and stress that ripples through entire communities. So, why does it seem like every branch of government is saying something different? Here's what actually happened. On Monday, White House lawyers told a federal judge they would move forward with half payments for November. Their reasoning? The emergency fund only had $5.5 billion, but they needed $9 billion to pay everyone in full. Partial payments, they said, were the only realistic option. Then, on Tuesday morning, November 4th, the president reversed that decision. He said no November payments. Hours later, administration officials were sending mixed signals, suggesting that partial payments could still happen. So what's the truth? The problem is, no one's in sync. Until the president himself publicly confirms a plan, agencies are caught between what's legal, what's budgeted, and what's politically directed. That's why you're seeing new headlines every few hours. It's not a media trick, it's confusion at the top. If you rely on SNAP benefits, here's what that means in plain language. Until the federal government gives a clear yes, the states are the ones deciding how to keep families fed. That's why state-level action matters so much right now, because Washington can debate all day. But it's local governments and food banks that are keeping food on tables this month. And while it's easy to feel powerless watching this unfold, information is your best tool. Knowing where your state stands helps you plan ahead and get help early if needed. Coming up next, I'll show you what you can do right now, even if your state hasn't announced help yet. We'll look at a few resources, and I'll share what's happening behind the scenes as states push for clarity from the federal government. So what can you do right now while the federal decision is still in limbo? Here are the most important steps. Number 1, check your state's official SNAP or Department of Human Services website every single day. That's where emergency updates and benefit schedules will appear first. Don't rely only on social media or hearsay. Go straight to the source. Number 2, call 211. That's the national helpline that connects you to local food banks, meal programs, and financial assistance in your area. Most call centers can also text you addresses for nearby food distributions. Number 3, if your state offers EBT notifications, sign up. You'll get an alert the moment new funds hit your card. It's an easy way to avoid refreshing the balance all day. Number 4, keep a record of your case number, any messages from your state agency, and the dates your benefits usually arrive. If back payments are approved later, having that documentation could help you receive them faster. Number 5, if you're struggling now, visit a local food pantry or faith-based center. Most have expanded hours and funding because of this situation. There's absolutely no shame in using those resources. That's what they're there for. I know it's frustrating to live with so much uncertainty. Each day, you hear one announcement, and the next day, it changes. You're not imagining the confusion. Even state officials are getting mixed messages right now. But what you can control is how prepared you are. The families who stay informed and act early are the ones who weather these disruptions the best. So stay calm, stay alert, and keep following trusted updates. If you want real-time alerts the moment states release new information or the federal government locks in a final decision, you can join my free text list. Just text the word SNAP to the number on your screen. Again, that's SNAP. It's completely free, and you'll get quick verified updates about any changes to food stamps, Social Security, or Medicare benefits. Thousands of people have already joined, and it's the fastest way for me to send you information the second it becomes official. So grab your phone, text SNAP to the number you see, and you'll be the first to know what your state does next. Now, before we wrap up, a quick reminder about something just as important. While SNAP payments are dominating headlines, it's also Medicare open enrollment season. Every year, millions of seniors stay stuck in the wrong plan and pay hundreds or even thousands more than they should. So I'll explain in the next segment how to review your plan, what changes matter most this year, and how to make sure you're covered for the care and prescriptions you actually need. Now, while we wait for clarity on SNAP benefits, there's another deadline you shouldn't overlook. Medicare open enrollment. This is the time of year when you can review your plan, compare coverage, and make sure you're not paying more than you need to for your prescriptions or doctor visits. Here's a fact that surprises a lot of people. Around 90% of seniors are enrolled in a plan that isn't the best fit for them. Sometimes that means paying thousands out of pocket unnecessarily. Sometimes it means finding out too late that your doctor or medication is no longer covered. That's why I always recommend doing a simple plan check. It takes just a few minutes, and it could save you hundreds of dollars a year. If you want a trusted resource, you can reach out to Chapter Medicare. They review all 24,000 available plans, compare your current coverage, and tell you if there's a better option, or if you're already in the right plan. You can call the number on your screen or visit askchapter.org/insider for a free review. It's quick, it's unbiased, and it gives you the peace of mind you deserve going into next year. So here's where things stand right now. 23 states have already stepped up to support SNAP recipients this month. Some are expanding food banks, some are issuing emergency EBT payments, and others are creating new relief funds. Meanwhile, 27 states are still waiting for federal confirmation, and at the national level, the White House and the courts are still disagreeing on whether November payments will go out in full, in part, or not at all. It's a confusing situation, but you don't have to navigate it alone. I'll keep breaking it down clearly, without politics or spin, so you know exactly what's real and what's next. Now I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below and tell me what state you're in and whether you've seen any local action. Food bank expansions, text alerts, or state announcements. Your stories and updates help others watching in the same situation. Together, we can build a clearer picture of what's happening across the country in real time. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss tomorrow's update. And remember, you can text the word SNAP to the number on screen to get breaking updates the moment something changes. That's the easiest way to stay informed without constantly checking the news or scrolling through rumors. I know the last few days have been stressful. It's hard to watch decisions change by the hour when your ability to buy groceries depends on it. But here's what I want you to remember. You are not alone in this. There are resources. There are people and organizations working to help. And I'll be right here, every step of the way, keeping you updated with the facts that matter most to you and your family. Take care of yourself, take care of each other, and I'll see you in the next update.